works out tonight. It's a cold January night, and I guess we could all be in our warm homes, comfortable, and here we are, all, I think, for the same reason, democracy, but specifically more to talk and think about Brian as future mayor. So I actually met Brian in 2003, and about the time that he committed himself to me and to us, he had been your Ward 1 councillor for not very long. So those commitments for Brian came very close together, and you can imagine how busy that time was for him, but he absorbed all of that with really an amazing capacity to adapt. It's been a really busy 10 years for our whole family. We have had our joys and we've had our challenges, like all of you, I'm sure have. Brian has shown continued respect for my parenting of Mitch. Any of you who have been step-parents, you know how challenging it is. It's an impossible balance to find, to support the parent that is the biological parent, but also bring your energy and your love to this new child in your life, and Brian did a beautiful job of that. He brought thoughtful and positive contributions to our family, and somehow, I don't know how he did it, but what I felt was that he made us all his priority. He made Mitch and me his priority, but he also made Ward 1 his priority. Brian made no mistake. He seems to know how to balance commitments, and that's why I feel very strongly and comfortable in his pledge to be mayor for this community. Some of you may know that the focus of my work in the past 10 years has been the training of rural physicians for our small towns in Ontario. I've learned to look for certain qualities in our future rural docs, being able to work hard for prolonged periods of time, to commit themselves to their profession and community, but also to their families. To be self-directed, but able to work with others in some very intense situations. What I've observed in Brian, that he's no stranger to hard work. He's also no stranger to teamwork. He certainly can work on his own, but when it comes to working in teams, he's very willing and able, and absorbs feedback with aplomb, which is actually a good quality in a mayor, I think. He is certainly no stranger to consensus building and peacemaking, and we actually made use of those skills a few times in our household as well, so didn't we, Mitch? And not always initiated by Mitch either. So Brian is a very determined man. I think that's something some of you may know about him already, and I may not need to tell you that. Determined as a spouse, as a father, as a leader. I know tonight that if his father, sister, mother, grandparents, and we acknowledge their memory tonight, if they were able to join us, they would speak to a long history of this determination, and his sister actually might call it something slightly different. Teasingly, of course. Brian's grandfather, in fact, was himself a municipal leader and community builder. And Brian's parents involved themselves quite a lot in the community, and I think Brian kind of grew up with community and volunteerism as part of the fabric of his family life. So I don't think it's an accident that he's here today, continuing to offer his service to the community here. I also would like to just briefly make a shout out to our family in Saskatchewan, so my biological family, and I hail from the prairies. We've been in Ontario for 20 years now, as has Mitch. My family has been very, very supportive of all of us, of Brian, and that goes right through my extended family as well, so I want to thank them. I want to tell you something that's really cool about Brian, and something that's really neat about being a politician's wife. And it has its challenges, for sure, but one of the really cool things is at the end of some days, Brian will come home and he'll be so excited about something that's happened to him that day. And what's really interesting about what's happened here tonight is you've heard the stories of some of these people that get Brian really fired up. And those people are you. That is what gets him excited, and that's what keeps him going every day at work. So I want to thank you all. That, those vignettes that he shares with me, that's the work that you're doing at the level of the community. You inspire him. Every one of you inspires him and helps him to do what he does. So I want to thank you, and I think you should all applaud yourselves. Right? player, committed, determined, respectful, inspired, and able to make us all his priority. That's the guy I know. That's the guy that I've been married to for the last 10 years, and hopefully for the next 50. Mitch and I are 110% behind Brian. We'll do our best to help him be a fabulous mayor of this community. We're absolutely willing to share Brian with you, partly because I know that he can do this and still make us a priority, and he's shown us that. The difference this time is it's not a ward of 40,000 people, it's about 12.5 times that many folks. So there are many, many people for us to meet in the coming days. So I want to thank all of you tonight, citizens from all over this municipality, Ancaster, Stony Creek, Glanbrook, Flamborough, Dundas, and the old city of Hamilton. We welcome you to this campaign, and I want to thank you for listening tonight. I look forward to working with you in the days and weeks to come. Thank you.